I'm in Hall 12 at the stall of Cummins India, and I'm with Jameson Mendonca, who is the business head for power generation. Jameson, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
How are things going? We're now into our second day at bauma CONEXPO. How have things been over the last day and a bit?
Lot of positive energy. I think it's excitement. Being here itself brings in a lot of positive vibes. I've been speaking to a lot of customers, speaking with my team itself. The energy out here helps us being motivated for, we have been participating for bauma for the last 3 events or so. But as I said, the energy level keeps on getting better and better over the years.
Yeah. So, as far as you're concerned, this should happen every year, not every 2 years.
Yes, I would say so, because the motivation that we get meeting customers, everything, it's a good networking event. I think brings in a lot of value addition.
But 2 years, it seems to go quite quickly. I mean, in 2022, we were just coming out of the COVID pandemic, and I'm sure it affected your business quite a lot. But over the last 2 years, what's the big change that you've seen between the hard times where supply chains were affected? Obviously, it affected your business as well. How have things changed for you?
So one of the things that I look back over the past 2 years is multiple things have happened for the better. Now, you started off with saying supply chain was a problem.
Yes.
And the investments that we did in the supply chain today are helping us real time.
Right.
The second thing that has happened for us, very positive, is the emission norms change happening in the power gen industry.
Right.
Now, the norms were supposed to go live on July 23. They got delayed, came to July 24. But for us, we were the first company that had all the range of products ready on day 1 of July 23 itself.
Okay.
For us, that was an achievement because that's what we stand for, innovation and dependability.
Right.
But having said that, with these new emission norms products there, I think these products will make our customers successful. It's not about making us successful, but making our customers successful as well, and that keeps us excited.
Yeah, I guess your success depends on their success. Yes, exactly, right. And I believe this is one of the new products you've launched at bauma CONEXPO.
Correct.
So what is this machine, and how is it different to what's existing in the market?
So this is the new 125 CPCB 4 Plus genset that we said we had. Now, when I look at the earlier generation of products, those were mechanical engines.
Right.
This is a state-of-the-art electronic engine where we hear a lot about IoT.
Yes.
Now, with telematics and everything else, this engine diagnoses itself. So every time I switch on an engine, it does a diagnosis and just does a pulse check.
Right.
And then if it finds that there could be potential problems, it intimates our control room as well as the end customer to say there is a potential problem, please attend to it.
Okay, yeah.
What that does is, again, as you would see in the construction and mining space, uptime is very important.
Yes, of course.
And for us, making sure that whoever buys a genset is able to switch on the genset when they need it is important.
Yes.
So this data helps us to proactively look at things so that you have zero downtime from an equipment standpoint.
Yeah. But on the other hand, telematics is becoming far more prevalent within the industry, and not just in this, but across many industries. So what's the next stage of development as far as you're concerned from telematics?
So one of the things that we do is all of the data that we get out here, it helps us develop better products. Now we are also working on something called as prognostics.
Prognostics?
Yes.
What is that?
Where diagnostics is something that happens in the past and you start trying to figure out what went wrong.
Right.
Prognostics is you start looking into the future and then say that, oh, if this sensor has to wear out over a period of time, when will it wear out?
Right.
So that you can enter into something called as a smart maintenance.
Right.
So today when we look at maintenance per se, it happens over scheduled periods of time.
Yes.
And you sort of remove products, even they are good or bad, you change on replacing filters and everything else. Prognostics helps us to be smart in terms of saying that this filter is good, don't replace it. So
there are other things to take care of. This filter is okay.
And that to an extent this brings in a whole sense of value to the end customer because buying an equipment is just one piece of it.
Yes.
But using that equipment over a period of time is something that we want to make sure that the customer experience is always good.
Right, correct. Okay, so what kind of market segments, of course, we're here, this bauma is really about construction and mining and infrastructure, but what market segments are your products really made them presence felt?
At Cummins, we play in almost every segment.
Okay.
We have our automotive division that essentially powers the automotive vehicles. But now coming back to the construction space, we have the power generation space that essentially powers literally all the segments in India.
Okay.
The other big segment that we focus on today, which is again going to be a bigger game changer, continues to be the data center space. With all the data that's getting generated, there are a lot of data center investments that are happening in India. And that segment itself continues to be one of our critical segments as we look and focus going forward. The new CPCB 4 Plus products that we launched are a game changer in itself because the level of emission norms that these products actually emit out, they are so low that ideally sometimes, to just give you an example, in the Grab situation, this is the only range of products that are exempt from, these products can run 24/7. Now earlier, whenever you heard of Grab, people used to say ban diesel gensets, stop them. But now these products can run 24/7.
Okay. So less noise pollution, less emission pollution and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like ahead of the curve already, far exceeding the existing statutory norms.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So you actually have a more than just a first mover advantage in that. But looking at it more broadly, what do you see as being the big opportunities and challenges in your industry and in the broader economic ecosystem for Cummins?
So the way I see it is, from an infrastructure play standpoint, there is a lot of opportunity for India to grow in infrastructure and construction. Because as I look at per capita infrastructure, we are far behind and there's a lot of catching up to do.
Right.
So I see a lot of investment happening in the construction space, the infra space, and I did mention to you the data center space.
Yes.
So these are areas that will definitely grow. Short term, there will always be small quarters that may go here or there, but in the longer term vision, in my view, these three sectors will continue to make sure that, and since Cummins provides engines and plays in all of these segments, it is for us to actually capitalize on whatever these segments are growing.
Right, and you're doing a great job in that in terms of, as we already talked about, being ahead of the curve, concentrating on innovation. You invested heavily in your supply chains well before perhaps most other companies did. So it's looking good for Cummins.